Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Every now and then you hear about states cracking down on bad drivers. And Stephen with a PH sent me notes. And Steve, check the story out from California, where they have a dangerous driver problem. And so a bipartisan group of lawmakers has decided to try to fix it. So the story is from Cal Matters. Robert Lewis and Lauren Helper wrote it. A bipartisan group of state assembly members announced a package of bills recently to crack down on dangerous drivers and address some of the roadway safety issues that were uncovered as part of a series called License to Kill. The proposals take aim at laws and practices that have allowed dangerous drivers to stay on California's roads and contribute to a spike in traffic deaths. The bills would require first-time DUI offenders to get the in-car breathalyzers. It would lengthen many license suspensions and revocations. It'll increase DUI training for law enforcement and close a loophole that allowed people who've killed with their car to avoid consequences through a diversion program. So an assembly member who's chair of the Public Safety Committee said, Sacramento is listening. We see there's a problem, and we're doing what we can, crossing that partisan divide and trying to identify real problems that we can deliver now to make our communities safer. The proposals are one component of a broader reckoning over years of rising traffic deaths playing out in the Capitol. Next week, a separate event is expected to include more details about new bills from the California Senate, related budget proposals, and the perspective of families who've lost loved ones to drunk drivers. So in December, it was reported that a criminal justice reform law from a few years ago was allowing judges to dismiss misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter charges for drivers who agreed to take part in what's known as a diversion program. But in an unintended twist, that has meant the drivers not only avoided a criminal conviction, but also kept a clean driving record. An assembly member from Suisun City, who chairs the Assembly Transportation Committee, introduced a new bill that would require the DMV to add points to a driver's license when they're granted a misdemeanor diversion. Currently, someone convicted of felony vehicular manslaughter would likely by law have their license revoked for 3 years. But the revocation would often start while they're in prison, and they might be eligible to get their license back as soon as they get out. And it does seem kind of odd that you get your license suspended while you can't drive anyway. So they're now saying that the language in another bill that they're introducing would change that. She said, driving is a privilege. This package holds dangerous drivers accountable and keeps our streets safer for everyone. So this is now the third time that an assembly member has introduced this measure. Currently, California is one of the few states that doesn't require first-time offenders to install the technology in the car which forces the driver to blow into breathalyzer and prove they haven't been drinking in order to start their car. Previous efforts failed after the Department of Motor Vehicles raised budget concerns, and civil liberties groups worried it would disproportionately impact the poor and people of color. Because when you have that thing installed on your car, it costs money. They're expensive. So California is the epicenter of America's DUI and drunk driving epidemic. As moms, as dads, as Californians, it's horrifying. And as policymakers, we have an opportunity and we have an obligation to do something about this. We know these devices work. We know they can save lives. Now, an assembly member from Modesto said currently many officers only get basic training at the academy on drunk and drugged driving and must often wait for colleagues with more specialized training to assess a driver's sobriety level. This is to help those agencies and officers to be able to have that training so that we can identify DUI drivers faster, quicker, and get them off the streets. So they're talking about giving them better training at the academy. The package of proposals is a starting point, and they expect that the assembly members, especially those in the Senate, will also be proposing changes to save lives on the road. Last month, a state senator from Norwalk introduced a bill to crack down on DUIs, increasing the punishment and making it easier for prosecutors to charge repeat offenders. That same assembly member is expected to hold a press conference later this month, along with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, road safety advocates, and other lawmakers to announce further road safety bills. So there's a few things going on here. One is to put the device in the car to make it so that you can't drive the car if you yourself are drunk, because the car won't start. Another is to change how they handle the revocation of a license. So the revocation runs when you are released from your sentence, not from the moment you're sentenced. And then a few others here, including increasing the penalties. Now, I can tell you that many states, such as Michigan, during my career as an attorney, I've seen the laws on drunk driving change more than once. And what they've been doing is increasing the penalties and reducing what gets you called a drunk driver. And as I used to tell people, because I used to handle drunk driving cases, I don't handle them anymore, but I used to handle them quite a bit. And that is that when you get arrested and convicted of a first offense drunk driving, it's going to be painful. It's going to be fines, costs, possible jail time, and points on your license, and your insurance company will be unhappy with you, and all kinds of bad things will happen. And I explained to my clients, back then, I'd say, here is what's going to happen to you. I could lay it all out. Here's what's going to happen to you. And here's how the process works. And here's, you got to go talk to these people and go over here and do all the stuff you've got to do, okay, for a first offense. And in Michigan and in many states, they don't just step it up a little bit on the second. I like to tell people they step it up exponentially, meaning that it's a curve that does this. It accelerates. So the first offense is bad. What you'll go through, you'll tell yourself, boy, this is bad. A second offense, what you go through is really bad. And I mean, you are going to jail. You are paying fines and costs that'll make the other ones you pay look like nothing. And they're going to run you through the ringer, okay? And I tell people, the reason they're doing that is so that hopefully you'll learn your lesson on your first and there won't be a second. And most of my clients that I've spoken to who had a first offense drunk driving say, okay, I get it. And in fact, in my career, I never once had a client call me and say, Steve, you represented me on a drunk driving case. I need you to represent me again. I never had that happen. That never happened. But I got news for you. Third offense, drunk driving in the state of Michigan, you can go to prison. Prison. And it happens. And I've heard stories, I've read them about in the papers, and I've had clients or fellow attorneys tell me stories where a third offense drunk driver goes to prison. And so it used to be in the old days. And I remember reading stories when I was younger. And I also remember talking to old school attorneys, the guys who were about to retire when I first entered the scene. And we'd talk about the old days. They would tell me, they'd regale me with stories. And I know attorneys who said, I had a guy once who arrested 15 times for drunk driving, 20 times for drunk driving. And we see these stories from around the country. I remember seeing one not so long ago where somebody had like their 30th or 40th drunk driving charge. And that shouldn't be happening. And we also hear horrible stories about really, really bad things happening where somebody caused an accident and guess what? They were arrested a whole bunch of times for drunk driving and they were doing it again. Got in a horrific accident. Somehow they walked away, but the other people didn't. And so when you look at that and somebody doesn't learn their lesson and society's getting fed up with it, yeah. So in Michigan, like I said, on your third offense, you can go to prison. And I tell my clients, because first offense is bad, second offense is a lot worse. Third offense, you don't want to know. And so every state's different. We've got 50-ish states, give or take, and they all have variations on state laws. And the punishments for driving infractions are going to be state laws. And it's going to vary from state to state exactly what will happen to you. So it sounds like California on some of this stuff is just catching up with the times. But one of the interesting angles here is the fact that they had a situation where your license would get suspended from the moment of your sentence. And if you're sentenced for, like, say, a year, you have a year in jail, and they suspend your license for a year. You get out and you've got your license back. And some people notice that that doesn't do anything. It literally is accomplishing nothing. So they're changing that. They're also pointing out that, they have a diversion program where you'll get punished less if you do other kinds of things, but does it really mean that it shouldn't be on your record at all? So that's a problem also. So they are trying to fix the dangerous driving problem. They've got a package of bills they put forward. They got another bunch falling right behind it. Of course, as with any bill, it's got to get passed by both houses and then sent up for signature and all that stuff. So we don't know if that'll happen with these. I thought it was worth reporting, though, because I normally wait till bills get passed or if a bill is being considered that is so controversial that I think it's important. But here, I suspect some of these will pass, some of them might not. But it's interesting to know what the state of the law is in California compared to what it is in other places. So California's got the dangerous driver problem. A bipartisan group of lawmakers wants to fix that. Stephen of the PH sent it to me. Thanks a lot. Lauren Hepler and Robert Lewis wrote that for Cal Matters. Questions or comments, put them below. Otherwise, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Just because you got the monkey off your back doesn't mean the circus has left town.